So this should be a nifty little trick. I'm at Churchill Downs this morning. Commanding Curve has finished up his training, and there he is. A nifty little trick is the ability to see him, get some videotape of him, not mess with some of the other horses here, and not kill myself. Because there are horses coming back from training even as I speak. Commanding Curve is walking the shed row. I'm going to step in right back over here. He's going to cruise back over there. Big hulking self. I just saw General Downs passing by. But I'm looking to get as much Commanding Curve video as anybody will tolerate this morning. He galloped a mile and a half today, mile and a quarter, and he will ship tomorrow morning to Mountaineer Park, which is in Chester, West Virginia, for a $200,000 stakes race. We're here at Churchill Downs in the shed row of Dallas Stewart, our trainer of Commanding Curve. I'm just going to plant myself right over here and wait for the big horse to come back one more time. This is a working barn, so there's a lot of activity taking place. You've got horses that are going out, horses that are just coming back from the racetrack, and horses like Commanding Curve, who's third in line here all the way back at the end of the shed row, that are cooling out, that are finishing up their daily work, their daily training session by just draining all the lactic acid out of their system. So here comes the Curve, and I will say this: it's been approximately a little less than a month. Let's call it 4 weeks since I've seen him. Hey Fiddler, how are you, buddy? It's been 4 weeks since I've seen him. His weight looks fabulous. Doesn't look like he's dropped anything as we've tried to get him ready for this big. Hi, buddy. So we've looked to try to get him ready for this race. Morning, Emerson. How are you, buddy? That's coming up this weekend. Now let's face it, we would have loved to have had that allowance race go at the end of June. But there's no use crying over spilt milk now. I would love to have had that sort of progression in his training, in his preparation for the big races this latter part of the summer and into the fall. It didn't happen, and as I said, there's really no use in getting involved in revisionist history as to what we could have done differently. He was ready when he was ready. He won his first level allowance race, and the race that we would have loved to have had gone did not go at Churchill Downs. They didn't fill it up. So plan B was something that became rather fluid. We talked about allowance races up at Saratoga. We talked about the Aladar Stakes. And now the West Virginia Governor's Cup for the big horse is what we're thinking about. Not thinking about, we've entered. So with that, and with Saturday's race going a mile and a 16th, I know that that's not exactly ideal for us, and we've drawn the number 12 post position. Again, not ideal. Both of which are not ideal, but we're gonna use this race as a chance to pad our resume, and also use as a real stepping stone from a fitness standpoint towards into the summer stuff and into the fall stuff. And those races could include things like, hey, maybe even the Pacific Classic, the Woodward, Morning Camo, or races to be named later, but those are kind of on the horizon. So, as I said, I'm looking at Commanding Curve coming at me full barrel right now, with General Downs acting like a, good morning, acting like a little bit of a goof behind him. So there goes Commanding Curve, and here comes General Downs, our 2-year-old colt by Mineshaft. Back-to-back West Point runners there. I think that's probably with one more pass through the shed row, unless General Downs goes out on the wash rack, and then I'll keep rolling here. With one last pass by, then we'll finish up. Hey Bentley, how are you this morning? Pedro! Everybody good?
Everybody's doing great.
Bentley, are you going up to West Virginia?
Now it looks like so.
Okay. Why not? It wasn't the case beforehand?
No.
It's always a fluid situation here at the Dallas Stewart Barn. Have tack box ready to travel.
Yeah.
All right, so one last pass by. Commanding Curve. As I said, his weight, coat, the whole bit looked like I want him to see, having not seen him for about a month. And then General Downs, who's coming out, and I can get some videotape of him. He's beginning to get back into that mode that we had him earlier this year. And he came in April, and he was like the man. And then he got a little tiny bit hurt. He wrenched an ankle, then he got sick. I mean, the story is well told now. If you're involved with West Point Thoroughbreds, you know our horses. You know that that's what happened to this dude. And as we kind of backed off and gave him time, he got a little sloppy. He got a little less racy, he got a little sloppy. Well, guess what? He's back. He seems to be doing much, much better now. General Downs, in all his 2-year-old snot-nosed, I'm the man, but I'm not really the man glory. Because about a year ago, we bought this horse. You can go right over here to seeing what we want to have happen to him. Obviously, second in the Kentucky Derby with Commanding Curve. Right now, this horse is unraced and probably will not start until, oh, let's say, I would think maybe the Churchill Downs meet in September, maybe Keeneland. Certainly by, if he doesn't have any setbacks, by the November meet here at back here at Churchill Downs after the Breeders' Cup. And that's what, you know, that's the goal. That's about a 3-month window to try to hit, so that's plenty of time and plenty of opportunity for racing for him. And that would give him some 2-year-old foundation, which I believe is preferable. It really is. I believe that's preferable. So this is, you know, I think he's up to 3/8 of a mile now breezing, and so we'll try to push that up the distance ladder for the next month here. Got all of August, and if he were to progress, I think naturally he'd be up to a half mile or maybe even a little bit more by the time he finishes up August, because we just begin this month. So last year's runner-up in the Kentucky Derby, Commanding Curve, will see him pass one more time and then close up this broadcast. It's been fun.